Hello, my friends. Welcome to another fabulous episode of the AI Show. My name is Seth Juarez, well rested. And for those that are in the United States, hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. If not, hopefully you had a good last week. All right, we'll get started with where's everybody coming from? Just put it in the chat. I got a little chat thingy, so if I'm looking over, the side-eye to what you're saying. So that's the most important thing. Welcome to this Ignite, Microsoft Ignite. I have to say Microsoft Ignite, or I have to put like a quarter in the swear jar. They said you have to say Microsoft Ignite. Okay, because Ignite is just like maybe Seth is a pyro. Welcome to Ignite. Alrighty. Let's see where everybody's coming from. I got the chat here over the side, so we'll take a look at that. And I'll tell you what we're doing today before we bring up my compatriot. Shoot, I'm pushing all the wrong buttons. Entire screen. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Boom! I also, for those wondering, I also repaved my machine. And so if things don't work all the way, it's because I repaved it today. Oh, hold on. I just did. Oh, no. Okay, let me toggle. Here we go. Okay, this is better. Okay, so today, number one. Oh my gosh, what is going on with you, Seth? We'll push. Here we go. So today, number one, we're going to look at Microsoft Ignite review. I'm going to put review. I think this is the French spelling. Then we're at number two. We're gonna look at the keynote. By the way, this is Cassie and I doing all this. It's not just me. By the way, I'm just gonna bring you up. What are we doing here, Cassie? Like you have Hey, Cassie, how you doing?
Hello. Morning.
Number two, we're gonna look at the keynote, but just the AI part, because you know what? The keynote I think was 8 million minutes. All of it obviously very good. Cassie, you were there. It was all mostly good, right?
It was all good. This guy took his shoes off in the middle, though.
Oh my gosh, and then the smell was just terrible. And then number three, if we have time, Cassie, you tell me. I'm gonna reproduce the prompt flow from the keynote.
Ooh, fun.
Oh yeah, if we have time. But obviously, there's so much going on today. By the way, I still have. Are you like? I remember one time I found this guy in his office, and he had kept every badge from every single conference. Do you keep them, Cassie?
I used to, but then it kind of was like there's a lot, and so yeah,
yes.
I don't really anymore.
I know, but I have these two just still laying around. I think from the trauma.
Now I find in my bag.
I say trauma, but Cassie, we don't mean it that way, right? I mean, tell them what we mean.
Because it was just so much fun, and it's like you relive it every time.
Yeah, and it's also a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. You know, I did not appreciate it till I worked at events, how much effort, energy goes into every little detail that people see. There's a lot of people doing a lot of work, from the engineering teams to the PMs to the event, like just everything. It truly is amazing to see it come together.
Yeah,
we put a lot of work into making them good and experience.
Cassie's so much better at this than I am. I was just be like, man, that was a lot of work, and I didn't sleep, and I'm so glad it's over, but also glad we did it.
Yeah,
because it's like it's a lot of work, and we put a lot of time into it, and there's just happiness. So you're much better than me. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see who we got from today from Nebraska. Oh, look, it's Alicia. By the way, do you know I went to school with her? We went to University of Nevada, Las Vegas together, graduated same year. Obviously, she's
awesome.
Smarter than me. And works at Microsoft. Did you know that?
I didn't know that either. Awesome.
I know. Hello from Nebraska, Cornhusker State. I'm like saying dumb things, Cassie. We need to be forgiven because we just, I had a lot of turkey.
It's like extra Monday because of the long weekend. So it's
I
like
know.
the
It's
Monday of Mondays.
And then next Thursday is like, man, it feels like next Monday. All right, Austin, Texas. Hello, CJ. It's good to see you again. You can see the chat, right? Right, Cassie.
Yep.
All right, New York City. I used to live there. Did I tell you, Cassie? I used to live in New York City.
Yeah, when you were young, like younger. I was going to say when you were young because you're not.
They kicked me out. When you were young, Seth. Now that you're much older. Cassie, did you smoke like a 6-pack or something?
Yeah.
She's like, hello, everybody.
Hi, welcome. Monday, okay, I need more water.
Hello, everybody. I'm Cassie. All right, here we go. Sorry.
I don't even need the voice changer.
Oh my gosh. I know. I got my deep voice here. By the way, you should get you a vocal processor. It makes for really fun times. From Texas, Caleb is my good friend. I haven't seen Caleb since I think we were in Oklahoma, actually. Do you know that Oklahoma is so proud of their state that on their license plate they put Oklahoma is okay?
It's kind of funny. They're being funny because it's okay. It's a joke.
It is a joke. It's like we are Oklahomans and we're okay. All right. The demo god's not with you today. They hopefully not. I was like scrambling because, like I said, I repaved my machine literally on Saturday because they asked me to domain join my machine, because security and stuff, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it on my Saturday. Hello from Turkey. I hear it's a lovely country. My mom loves going there. She goes there like every year now. I don't. And I was gonna make a turkey and Thanksgiving joke, but it's just not working in my head. Yeah. Like I went through like 7 iterations and it's not working. We got Wisconsin W. Oh, I thought they said Wisconsin because that's close to you, right, Cassie?
Yeah, I thought it was Wisconsin too. I totally read that as Wisconsin.
I know. And then from Poland, welcome, my friend Andrzej. I wish I knew Polish. The closest I got is I went to the Czech Republic and I learned how to say something in Czech. And I'm good at languages, but that one's hard. Ahoy pracha, yaksi všechna. And I was like, dang, that's a lot. I don't know if Amman Jordan. Did I tell you one time I tried to learn Arabic?
Mm-mm.
I was living in southern Spain, and a cool guy from Senegal, his name was Tuku. He's like, hey, we're going to learn you some. I said, I want to learn Arabic. Teach me. And so I went to their apartment, and they obviously, if you're going to read something in Arabic, it's Quran. So they started me learning on the Quran, and I would read from it, and they would laugh and say, boy, man, you're terrible at Arabic. But it's fun for us to watch you try. Hello from India. We have Greece. Oh my goodness, Alicia, I've been a fan of yours since Avi. We went to school together, and here we are. We're gainfully employed for the most part. Here we go, Karen Jewel. It's good to see you. There's a lot of people here. So sunny Colorado, and then we have Serbia. Welcome. And then obviously, do you remember me? The OS, Windows XP. Yeah. Do you remember Windows XP, Cassie?
I do. Mm-hmm.
I'm the old one though, remember? So just
I'm old too, just like I don't have quite the wise years that you have yet, Seth. Yeah, you can hear it in my voice.
Oh my god. No, it's just we all got used to like getting up late last week, and now we're like, hey, it's 8:30 in the morning. Hello, Greg Legan. Do you know Greg, right? Cassie from Wisconsin.
Good to see you.
Gosh, I haven't been to that conference in far too long. Are you going to the next one, Cassie?
I have not planned that far ahead, but I should. It's been a while.
No, there's one in Texas, like right now, I think.
Oh, I've never been to the Texas one. That would be
me neither. There's the Texas one, and now there's so make sure you go to that and plug in that. All right, DF Meta, Kello, he's saying Cassie, so it's not all about you, Seth. All right. So do you got the book of news up, or should I bring that up? Let me see. I think you gave it to me.
Yeah, you can bring it up. I have it up. Either's good.
No. Let me do this because like we're working here. So for those who don't know, the book of news is like here. I got to open Teams. Jeez, nobody messaged me. I'm on Teams right now. Here's the book of news. Let me open this up here. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen here, and let me hide all the messages here. So this is what's called the book of news. Cassie, you want to tell them what this is?
So the book of news they put together for the events, and it's like there's so much that happening at Ignite. It's kind of hard to, I feel like, even quantify it. And so the book of news is like your one-stop shop of like, here's everything that we want to highlight about all the cool announcements and work that we've been doing that we cover at the event. So it's a really good place to go if you want to get an overview. And then there's even the little table of contents I saw, because this one's quite large. Like we've been busy is what this tells you. But on the right there's a table of contents, and then you can see different sections, and you can kind of go into the things that are most interested, like the things you're most interested in, or you can scroll through and kind of just start looking through. There is so much in here. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And Frank Shaw, who's an awesome dude. He's our head of communications, I think, at Microsoft. This little forward here. Welcome once again to Microsoft this year. It's action packed version. Yeah, I like that. So let's scroll down to some of our stuff, and maybe I'll look through it. And you can give us a little color commentary on what is Azure Machine Learning continues to improve, blah blah blah. Prompt flow. You got ruefully. So for those who don't know, I got to work on the keynote, and Cassie got to work in a session because I'm like, Cassie, take this, and I just like threw her into the pool deep end. So tell me about prompt flow. Thoughts on that?
Well, prompt flow is awesome for creating large language model app solutions, and it gives you kind of the end-to-end tooling for some things that are very hard to do when you start doing large language models. I think programming with them or creating them is both easy and extremely difficult. Yeah. Like, because some parts of it are really easy to get going, but then making them good, operationalizing them, doing the DevOps monitoring and evaluation, then it starts getting super complex really quick. And so I like that prompt flow has like the end-to-end tooling with all the Azure goodness to kind of get started and make something good quickly.
Yeah, and the thing about like I said, I love LLM stuff. It's like really awesome. Like I'm having a super fun time once I start understanding it, and it's really good because it's like right up by our alley. We're like data science type folks. But the reality is that when you're building these things, you have to be careful, because if you do not manage your prompts and test them, you could run into trouble, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and in our session, we actually find an issue and learn how to solve it in the end-to-end app development using Prompt Flow and AI Studio. And
yeah, we should do a watch party on that one for next time.
Okay, yeah. If we must.
We must. Cassie's like, I hate looking at myself on camera. It's just the worst.
Like, I mean, do you like watching your own content? I don't know.
No,
it's always
I hate it.
Like, exactly.
That's why I like live, because it's like we cut it and we move on.
Exactly.
So, there you go.
Editing your own videos, you have to watch it.
Oh, I hate it so much.
It's quite painful.
Oof. All right, model catalog. We saw a little bit of that. There was a ton of models. By the way, let's see if I can AI.microsoft.com. I literally really did repave my machine. AI.microsoft. Wait, it's AI.azure.com. AI.azure.com. Let me log in here real quick. So the reason why I'm model catalog, I want to show the model catalog. You were going to say? Sorry, Cassie, go ahead.
I was just going to say, while we get this pulled up, has anyone went and played with AI Studio? Let us know in the chat. Or if you've seen it. Is this your first time seeing it? Yeah.
If you're wondering like where you should go to turn it on, is this big enough?
Yep, that works. Can
you see that, Cassie? Is that? Yeah. My eyes are not what they used to be.
You know, we need to add a super resolution pass on this tool, I think.
I know. Oh, you know, that would I got to ask Mark about that.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like if you stay in there long enough, it just does a up-res or something. Remember how we used to watch the crime dramas and they're like, you can't make new pixels out of old pixels and zoom. Now you can. So They made a liar out of us, Cassie. So when we go to the AI studio, this is the model catalog. And the reason why the model catalog is cool is like you see this kind of in Hugging Face too. The difference is that with these ones, you can actually deploy them directly into Azure AI Studio, which is kind of cool, right?
Yeah. I think it simplifies the fact that you can just be like, I want to use this and I'm just going to deploy it. And now you have an endpoint that you can start using. It simplifies. You used to have to find the scoring script, figure that out, maybe update it or write your own. Maybe you needed to do it in a different language than Python because a lot of times the scoring scripts were all Python. So you'd have to rewrite it. So
yeah, you
definitely
can download these and run these locally too. I mean, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. So it really simplifies a lot of things that were like difficult to get started with different models.
Correct. I'm looking at this. Looks like I have all my flights on too. By the way, we use feature flags in our stuff too because who doesn't? So that's what these things are. So that's what the model catalog is, which is really cool. And there's a ton of them. We made lots, like 11th hour wonderful deals with wonderful folks like at Meta. We have Hugging Face ones in here. We have NVIDIA. So there's a lot of models that you can use and obviously the Azure OpenAI ones are amazing. We didn't have a show last week because drama. We're not going to comment on that. It's the reason why we didn't have a show last week because everyone's going to be like, what do you think of this? And we'd have to say something like really corporate like. Unfortunately, we cannot comment at this time to any happenings in any other companies, but we remain committed to OpenAI as a partner and say stuff like that. And then people will be like, oh, yeah. So I didn't want to do that. It was good. Did you like that? I should have done like full, like here, hold on. We remain committed to OpenAI as a team and want them to succeed because their models are awesome. That's it. The models are awesome.
They're so powerful.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of other ones that you can totally use. So that's what the model catalog, that's what this thing is. And then models as a service, which is really cool. If you don't know what this is, let me. Did you know what this is? I'll tell you what this is. If you don't know, this is basically being able to run other models as a service, like you run OpenAI, where we just do it for you. Coming soon in preview. Will enable developers and machine learning professionals to easily integrate foundation models such as Llama 2 from Meta, upcoming premium models from Mistral, and Jace from G42 as an API endpoint to their application and fine-tune models without having to manage the underlying GPU. Remember, same as you do with Azure OpenAI, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then One Lake stuff, which is cool.
You gotta have data.
Data. And the data. Just put your stuff in Fabric or link to it. And then we can all toy. We hashed it out as friends with the Fabric team. We danced knife fights a little bit until there was a resolution. We're like, you are the data place. We didn't dance knife fight. They were always the data place. But I
actually tried to go to the Fabric session because I was really excited to see what they were doing, and it was standing room only. And I actually had time. That was the other thing. It's like usually we're just like booked solid at these events with different things.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have time to go to a session. But I was like 5 minutes late and they were already standing room only.
They deny you entry?
I did. I could not go in.
Oh my God.
That's okay. Because it's
I have a sound effect
online.
Cassie. That's why you show up early to stuff, except for you probably couldn't.
No, I think we need to let people that are there to enjoy the event first, but that's okay. And they're all recorded online, so it's not like I can't still go see it. I will still get to see the Fabric talk.
If only we had a way of watching it.
To travel back in time.
To look at the session. Let's go there. I'm just going to type in Fabric. Oh my gosh. It is a serious case of the Monday. Fabric. Okay. Oh, jeez. Fabric. So there's a lot of Fabric. There's a lot of Fabric stuff. So there's tons of stuff. Which was the one you were going to go to?
Oh gosh, it was on Wednesday at like 4, I think. So it was 4 or 5, one of those ones.
What?
Maybe it was Thursday. Honestly, time is really difficult.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Thursday.
Ooh. Oh, Nelly. Anything that Nelly or Justina does, you should go watch. They are fantastical, by the way. Just FYI. So there's a lot of Fabric sessions on there. So make sure you take a look at them. Bogdan's awesome too. So is Priya.
Oh, that was it. That's the 4 p.m. Wednesday session. I think that's the one I was trying to go to.
Steel trap there.
Yeah.
With the memory. Build and manage it. Yeah. So they're all there. So make sure you go look at that. And so those are the big three. Is there any others that and then off.
Wait, go back up. Go back up. I got really excited when I saw the breakout session, end-to-end AI app development, prompt engineering to LLM apps.
Ooh.
That is the one that I did with Daniel Schneider. So check out that one.
Look at that. Look, there's Jatindra and Greg.
Yes, he did a great opening.
He did not submit his picture. Dang it, Greg. In Seattle only. But you can download the video and watch it. I was there in person. I didn't have flowers or anything to throw on stage for you and Daniel, Cassie, but
Maybe
I should have. In retrospect, I should have done something to that effect. Yeah, so take a look at that. You can see all these here. Value and design. This was another good one. Llama 2, all the good stuff.
There are so much good ones, yeah.
And then obviously the Azure AI Studio, which is the new thing, which is your one-stop shop experience for doing all AI stuff at Microsoft now. Can you share the links to those videos? Yeah. So if Andre, we put the link to the book of news, and you can totally just in the book of news, you can just go directly, scroll down there right in there. So that's the one place you can do that.
Yep, it's right at the top.
Yep. And then obviously the Azure AI Studio, which is amazing. There's a ton of cool sessions in there about that, and then Copilot copyright commitment, which is cool.
So what is the Copilot copyright commitment?
I'll tell you. Microsoft leads the industry in the safe and responsible use of AI. We've set a standard. Today, Microsoft takes commitment further. The new benefit we call the customer copyright commitment. As part of Microsoft has published new documentation to help Azure Open Azure technical measures to mitigate the risk of infringing content. So, for example, if you are worried that someone's going to say, "Hey, we will help you with that." I'm not a lawyer, so you should go read that. I mean, yeah. Cool. I think there's something in here about that. Here, yeah. So you can totally go to learn. Let's click on it. I'm curious.
But the idea is you don't have to be concerned about the output of the large language models having copyright issues. There's a commitment, right? It's kind of the high level of that.
Yes. But there's things that you have to do.
There is. Okay.
Yeah. For example, you need to make sure that you set the meta prompt correctly. You need to have an evaluation and testing. And so we can give you all that stuff. So take a look at that. I need to should probably read it a little bit more. So I will do that. Okay. And then finally, the vision stuff, Florence Foundation models, and then GPT-4 Turbo with vision. I think it's in private preview. So there you go. I think, here we go. Dolly 3, GPT-3 Turbo, GPT Turbo with vision. I was right. GPT-4 Turbo with vision. Now with vision.
That was such a cool demo that you did in the keynote for 4V.
It was cool, and it's because you and me and others had this idea. It wasn't just me, So let's do that. Let's get into the keynote thing and see if we can't do that. So let's go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower this, and Cassie, I'm just gonna play, and then we should do stop, and then we'll look at it. Okay, so this is the keynote from part of the keynote.
So it's been a pretty incredible year in terms of AI innovation. And to share more about some of the great Azure AI enhancements coming out this week.
By the way, are you hearing an echo?
Nope, I'm not getting an echo. Is anyone else?
No. So just let me know, because sometimes it does. Oh shoot, my camera just went out. There you go.
There you are.
I bumped. Echo is strong. Okay, so I need to mute myself.
Okay.
I will mute myself when we play, and then tell me to stop. Ready, go.
Who leads the Azure AI engineering group to the stage. Please welcome Eric.
Thank you, Scott. Customers have been so excited to build generative AI applications.
So this is our boss, Eric. He's so funny. He's such a good dude. By the way, did you know he was in? You ever watch that movie where they were counting cards from MIT?
Yes. I did. That movie's crazy. And I did know that. He was one of them. He can't go to casinos now or something, right?
No, if there's a conference in Vegas, they're like, you can't go into this. It's pretty fun. All right, so let's keep going.
And they tell us there are a lot of different components that they need to bring together to build these applications. That's why we built the Azure AI Studio, the one place with all of the tools you need to build rich and powerful generative AI applications. And of course, it all starts with data. You need data from your enterprise to personalize the application to your specific.
Every time they say it all starts with data, I think of the dude from like Star Trek. It all starts with data, and his picture comes into my head. I know that's weird, but does that happen to you, Cassie? Or
Yes. No, in fact, I frequently would send GIFs of data when we're talking about data, like in like chats and stuff like that, because, and also I loved Data. He was like one of my favorite characters. Well, it's hard to pick a favorite because there's so many good characters. In TNG is my favorite Star Trek. And yeah, but Data is just, I love the way that they think about how an android would experience human life and all of that. Like, it's just really, really well done.
Here's a question from Elena. Are there some folder where we can download all the slides from the Ignite sessions? Yeah, you just need to go to the Ignite website. I think the slides are in there. If they aren't, for sure the video. I mean, that's how I downloaded this keynote. Anything to add there, Cassie?
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I think the assets are all with each session. So you can still go to the session catalog like you were showing, typing, looking for fabric, and then the videos are right there, which I really love that they did that to make the content so accessible that everything was both in person and online. And even the one that wasn't live streamed, it's still now available on the site. So you don't have to miss anything. You can definitely.
And you can bring that data from wherever it happens to be, including connectors to Cosmos DB and Microsoft Fabric. And then you bring that data into a search and retrieval system to make sure you're feeding the large language model with the best data that you have possible for each individualized.
Now, it's important when we say feeding the language model. People get this wrong all the time, Cassie. I don't know if you've heard this too, but we're not putting your data and training the weights of the model. That's not what's happening, right?
Right. Yeah. We're giving it examples to learn from. Like when your teacher told you how to like make sentences and showed you good examples and bad examples.
Yep, exactly. But those are just part of the prompt, and then the prompt generates a response. But your data isn't going to the model, it's going to the prompt. They take all our data and sell it. No, we do not do that.
Absolutely not.
That is unethical. And we don't do that at Microsoft because we try to be ethical. In fact, every like 6 months, we have to watch a video of like, hey, don't insider trade. Don't steal your customers' data. In fact, we have a whole dude who stole customer data and got in trouble. We have like multi-year, like, have you watched it? Yeah. It's so
a
like
fictional story. Make sure you understand that's a fictional story. It's not real. In the training, these trainings, the production quality on them are insane. There was like an Avengers level scene in one of them when he opened the office door. I was like, wow.
Yeah. So fictional. Thank you for that. Fictional. Just to tell us, hey, don't do this. This is not cool. All right. So let's keep going.
And of course, you can choose the large language model that you want directly from our model catalog. You can use the latest foundation models from OpenAI, the most powerful models out there. You can also use the greatest open source models as well directly in that same model catalog. You then manage the full life cycle of building this application with PromptFlow, a tool that I'm happy to announce is now generally available. And of course, underlying all of this is the content safety system to make sure that the application you build will be safe and secure. But let's talk a little bit more about that vector search engine. The search engine is one of the most important parts of the AI application stack.
So I'm going to fast forward this part because I didn't realize how much time we've taken already. So fast forward a little bit. He talks about the vector search. He talks about here, fine tuning. I think we should stop at fine tuning. Here we go. Okay.
And so we bring all of those capabilities of these large language models and generative AI applications into the single place, the Azure AI Studio. But more than talking about it, I'd love to show you just how easy it is. And so I'd like to invite Seth Juarez, a principal programming manager on the Azure AI team, to come out and walk us through this. Seth?
How's it going, Eric?
It's going great. You're looking great, Seth. Nice shoes, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I love these shoes. I'm pretty excited. I work in the Azure AI.
By the way, get ready for a lot of makeup. They put so much makeup on me every time I do these shows. And by the way, those shoes are hilarious. They almost didn't let me wear them. You'll see in a second why.
Group, but I really split my time with Koso Outdoors because that's really where I do all my demos. So I'm going to show you three things now that I work for the Koso Outdoor Demos, how AI can help you in 3 ways. Number one, content.
Okay, when you said number 1 today, I was like, why didn't you say number first? Like in my head, because that's my favorite thing is to say number first.
I had like a segmentation fault in my brain. I was like, number first, number. Ugh!
You know, I feel like the first like 30 seconds, the number first 30 seconds.
The number first 30 seconds, yes.
It's also the hardest too. That's
I know. You gotta memorize like the first part. Like once you get past the first 30 seconds, it's all smoothness.
Yeah.
But I think I recovered.
It was good. It was
Number
hilarious.
2, support, and number 3, sales. I'm going to show you how Azure AI can help in all of those things. So
By the way, that's a lot of makeup they put on me. I was looking at it the other day. I was like, wow. Look how I must have had like some serious baggage under my eyes because they must have traveled whatever they put under there. Look how awake I look.
You can't tell on screen though. Like I know I like in the you know, when you're in person, it feels weird, but on screen, it does really well for the lighting and everything like that.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me just look at Cassie being nice again.
here is the Koso Outdoors company website. It's actually quite beautiful. When you look at it, you are also going to see some wonderful text here. I am not this creative, and so GPT-4 Turbo made this for me. That's the first thing. The second thing I want to show you is this wonderful Trailmaster X410. Those beautiful pictures were created by DALL-E 3 because I'm not artistic. And you can see here, these are wonderful tents. And so notice that I'm able, with these new Azure AI generative models, you're able to actually build amazing content to delight your customers as they show up. That's the first thing, content.
By the way, that's all true. I did not make those images. In fact, I don't know if you know this, Cassie. Did I show you how I made those?
Vaguely, yeah. Like you set up like a prompt that.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
I'll tell you. You tell me what you think if I overdid it. So we hired a vendor at Microsoft Build to give us like a markdown file that has made up stuff about like fake products. There was like 20 of them. And so what I did is I made a prompt flow that read that thing, converted it in using GPT-4 into a DALL-E 3 prompt, and then that prompt was then fed into the DALL-E and the image was generated.
That's like ultimate laziness there, Seth.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, us programmers will go to great lengths to not go to great lengths.
To not have to do things.
Like I had an idea for like building an entire product for making fake data. Like, because the amount of fake data that we built was just and it's such high quality. Like, if you look at it looks really good, and it reads really well too. I mean, you're like, wow, that looks really good. Wasn't me.
I also was just like the quality improvement for the new DALL-E 3 was just insane. Like it looks so good.
Yeah, and I have like before and after because I generated a whole bunch of stuff with DALL-E 2, and I remember I showed it to Scott, who's our super boss, and he's like, wow, we should show the difference. And we didn't get to show it, obviously, because there was so much stuff that he had to show. But you look at like a goofy little DALL-E 2 tent, and then this thing that I showed, it was amazing. All right, let's keep going.
Number 2, support. Even though I made this beautiful website that has everything customers will need, for example, to know what to do with their tents, we all know here in this very room that every single one of those customers will not read this, and they're going to call us instead, right? So how can we solve this problem? So it turns out that the support team said, hey, why not make a chat that answers the exact questions that our customers ask based on the exact facts that belong to our product? So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to ask a question right here, and the question is, how should I take care of my tents? And notice that in a matter of like 3 seconds, 2, 1, you get an answer. And not only is that answer
I moved my head because I wanted you to see. The reason why it looks like we're typing so fast is because I use something called auto hotkey. Did you know that, Cassie? I think I showed it to you.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Yeah.
this is a live demo. This is live. I just don't want to type stuff because it's like, I typed it wrong. That's like the worst, you know?
It's a very easy to mistake. Like when I have to type on stage, I like focus because otherwise I will do a typo or like miss something, or it's like, I don't know why. It's so funny, but this is it's a really nice tool to make it look very smooth too, because also it takes longer to type when you're trying to like make sure you don't do a typo live in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
There was
it's
a couple
cool.
of people there. I mean, you probably saw them, one or two.
I don't know. I mean, the line for the keynote, it was insane. You know, when I went out, it went up 3 levels of the whole thing. Like they have a person that has like end of line, and when they would fill up one level of the event center, saw the end of line going up the escalator, and I was like, why is the end of line lady going up the escalator? And I realized because they were moving up to the next floor. So it is a very large keynote room, and it's really cool. But
Yeah, it certainly is. All right, let's keep going.
Good answer, but it also has links to basically this page that has the information in there. So how do we accomplish this? It's pretty cool, right? And notice it's in your website. It's in the beautiful website that AI created for you. So how do we do this? Well, to do that, we're going to use the brand new experience called Azure AI Studio. And I'm just going to show you a couple of things in here. The first is now when you build things inside of projects, which is pretty much what we do. So let's go to the Koso store.
I didn't even know what to say there. We build stuff inside of projects because like, what do for context, I don't know if people know this, but the day before, right around 5 p.m. the day before, and this keynote was like, what, 9? Was it at 9? I don't remember.
yeah, I think it's around 9. That makes sense.
So the day before, like, I got a message from like the chief of staff to like our CVP, you know, Eric, who's awesome. They're so nice. And he's like, we have some demo feedback. Can you come? I'm like, yes. And they're like, can you come right now? I'm like, yes, I can. And so I ran over. No, I didn't run. I just took the escalator because my feet were tired. But anyways, I go to the green room, and there's, you know, Scott Guthrie, who is awesome guy. And if you hadn't seen like there's like what we show, and then there's what we practice. Cassie, you saw me practice. It was way different than what I actually did, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's interesting. Like the rehearsals are good unless for like getting the practice and getting in the environment, right? Like I think it's just good to see the stage and feel the stage before day of. But yeah, they definitely always come out like a little different live, I feel like. For me,
well,
too.
in this case, the feedback I got was, and Scott is such a nice guy. He was almost apologetic, and he's like, Seth, I like what you're doing. I wonder if maybe you could do less things. And he's like almost apologetic. Less, I said to him. He's like, take the same amount of time, but do less things. And I was like, this is awesome. Because I was doing like this. And then obviously there was the flying, you know, hoop where we're going to have the tigers jump through. That didn't make it. No, I'm just kidding. But there was a lot of extra steps that I had because I wanted to show the full thing. And so the night before, I changed the script. And so what you're seeing here is me redoing the script on the fly, right? Because I wanted to make it more related. So that's why it's like I'm like making stuff up, because I wanted to make sure to take feedback. And he's like, just be more crisp, be more clear about what it is that you're solving. And it was just all great feedback. And I think it worked out.
Yeah. And I think it's hard too sometimes because like with a keynote, you have a very constrained amount of time, but you want to show, at least I always feel like I want to show everything and go into all the details. And that's what the breakouts are really for, you know, and that's when the breakouts is when we go into the more deep level of all the things that you show. But it's sometimes really hard to like pare down.
You want to kiss all the babies. Coincidentally, this was the same feedback Cassie gave me like the week before.
Yeah, because there's a lot of content, and it was like, this is all good. But when it's new, like when you've been in it, you know, we've been in it. Sometimes it's hard to step back and remember what it's like when it's new to you, and you can go a lot faster when you're very familiar with it, right?
Oh, stop. You just have executive level feedback, and that's great. But yeah, so that's why you see me like kind of being like.
And let me show you something here, because I want to explain what actually is happening when you add your data to these models. Most people think that we're pushing data into the model. We're not. What we're doing is we're creating a search index. And when I say we, I mean like in the Packers, we won the game. What we're doing is we're actually creating a search index in Azure AI Search. And the source of that data really...
I'm so dumb.
Packers. I didn't know you were a Wisconsin Packers fan.
I'm not a Packers fan. People say that like we won the game. You know, they say it all the time. Like, were you playing?
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
That's just like sports culture, right? Like
I know.
we were there cheering.
I watched it on TV eating ice cream, and I was part of the offensive line. You know, offensive in terms of how much ice cream I ate. All right, let's keep going.
Anywhere. So let me show you. If I go over here and I go to indexes and I create a new index, notice that I can actually connect to something like Microsoft OneLake, where actually all the product manuals live. You saw that earlier. And what it does is it takes those manuals, it chunks that data and puts it into Azure AI Search so that when your customers ask a question, that question then is searched and the information is put into the prompt and then sent to the large language model. That's what's actually happening. Let me show you. So I've already set this up. You saw there that we have already the Koso manuals index. So if I go over here, I've hooked it up. And so when I ask the question again inside of this experience as you test it, you're going to notice that in about 3 seconds, you're going to get the answer. And I want you to notice something. It's almost exactly the same as the answer we got here. It's, I think, almost exactly the same thing. And the reason why is because we give you the code, exact code to do this, and you can also export this to a prompt flow. It's pretty cool, right? And it's something you can do today. That's right. Third thing, sales. You recall Eric mentioned my shoes. I think they're the coolest shoes ever, and I know Eric liked them, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can't get him some of these shoes here at the Koso Outdoor Products Company here. So let's see, my friend Eric really likes these. I'm not shouting, oh my goodness. I'm like shouting at the computer. I don't want it to get mad at me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this up and I'm gonna put my shoe in here because he likes it, and I'm gonna ask it a question. Because the reality is that when we're looking at the real world, it turns out that the real world is actually multimodal, right? So when I give it the shoe and I ask you the question, I want it to answer based upon what I just gave it, and you're gonna see something here really cool. It's great to hear that your friend Eric has good taste. That's debatable. Based upon your request for a pair of gray outdoor sandals with red and gray, that's pretty specific. It's suggesting sandals from our company. It's pretty cool, right? Let me show you how this is done. This happens inside of Azure AI.
I stopped that there. That was a fun demo for me.
So I just have to tell you backstage when the face you made with the sandal, we were all like dying. Because you were like, you made this like confused face.
I was trying to confuse the language model with an angry face.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But the cool thing about that is like that was actually live. And the reason, here's a little stage tip. I moved away from the computer because I knew that a call would take exactly 10 seconds, 10 to 12 seconds. And so you probably saw me like go like on my little pre-rant. The world is multimodal, blah, 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 your models, blah, 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 because I knew that if I went back, it would be there. And so it looked like it was instant. It wasn't. It takes 10 seconds every time. So that was a little trick because didn't it feel like it was almost instant?
Yeah, I do tricks like that too. When something takes a little while to load, it feels a lot longer if you sit in silence. So
Yes.
Adding additional like depth and information about what's happening is like a really good way to kind of fill that time while helping people understand what's happening.
Yeah,
sure.
Because if you sit there, you're like, "Oh, this is taking longer than expected." Then everyone's like, "Whoa, your stuff is broken," but it takes 10 seconds. You're like, why is it taking 10 seconds, Seth? It's looking at a whole picture and text. That's
10
insane.
seconds is actually pretty 10 seconds is actually pretty impressive if
Yeah.
you think about everything that it's doing. That's a quick
It's
response.
insane. By the way, if you're seeing, you see how there's 2 laptops up there? For those that are watching, those are backups. So if something were to go wrong with this middle machine that I'm on, I would go to the backup. And so there's tons of redundancies just because like we don't want to mess stuff up, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's keep going.
Of Azure AI Studio, I want to show you just a couple of things. The first is it uses Azure AI Studio's feature called Prompt Flow. And the first thing I want to show you is that with GPT-4 Turbo with Vision, you can actually put images into Prompt Flow now, which is pretty exciting. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to show you is the actual prompt. Because you're probably, well, how do you put an image in there? Well, it turns out that the prompt is just like you would expect, text, and then here is the image that you put in.
I wanted to pause there because this part I did not. This is really cool. Like it's literally like mark down an image into the prompt, which is insane, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool myself. So
I mean, the multimodal thing with large language models, I'm really excited to see where that stuff goes. Like
yeah,
the innovations that are happening are game changing already. And it's just, yeah, I
Mhm.
think that's really going to bring things next level. I think it already is. I mean, you can see in this demo that it's already bringing things next level.
It's pretty cool.
Just out of the box. Like that used to be a difficult thing to build. Like what you did there, that used to be extremely hard to do with building AI models that can understand it, that understands your data, that can do similarity. Like, and now it's just like, here you go, 10 seconds.
Type it in. Beep, 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 beep.
Right, give us an image.
Here, look at this picture too. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool, and you can see that I'm also getting the model to respond with JSON. I know it's kind of not clear there, but you can see. I think. Let me rewind just a little bit.
Put an image in there. Well, it turns out that the prompt is just like you would.
There, you can see that I'm literally saying, "Here's an answer. Do not include things in the response that an outdoor products company might not, have." Literally, I was making it like do the right thing. By the way, they broke it right afterwards when I gave it to our responsible AI team. They broke it like 5 seconds. I'll tell you about that in a second. Let's keep going.
Text, and then here is the image that you put in. It's pretty cool, right? And then the last thing I want to show you is that there is a really powerful extensibility model with Prompt Flow that allows you to have custom tools built directly.
This part didn't work quick enough, which was kind of a bummer. I should have refreshed the runtime before I did this, but in the dropdown you were supposed to see some tools, which this was the one regret part that did not work all the way really fast. It worked. It works, but it took a little bit longer that time, and I had to move on. It's kind of a bummer.
I know, and you refreshed it. I saw you come and refresh it, like right
I
before.
know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Like I was very fastidious about let me refresh this, but the tool just did not. I should have pushed the tool button before I went up so that it went through the refresh cycle because it uses some introspection in Python to make the tools show up, and the first call usually takes a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? After I refreshed, so that was my bad. Kind of a bummer, but okay, it's okay.
To the UI. So things like LangChain, semantic kernel, all of those things can live right inside of your UI. And the last thing I want to show you when we finish up is that you can deploy these things with one click. And if you go, for example, you can see how many times I did this. If you go to the Koso retail store, number 10, you can actually switch between different deployments live. So that if you have a new prompt flow that comes out because you fixed something, you can have that available to your customers immediately. You've already started building these things. I looked at our telemetry last night. I'm excited to see what you can build with this. Go to ai.azure.com, and I'm excited to see what kind of experience you will enable. Thank you so much.
Let's pause. That was fun. So there's a couple questions from Oliver Will that are really good. Can we already use an actual picture of our product to generate a cool image of it? I don't know. I'll have to go look at that. Cassie, do you know?
So I do know that there's something called image to image for like in the Stable Diffusion implementation of image generation. I don't know if DALL-E, if we have an implementation through our API that gives a starting image and then an ending image. That is definitely something you can do with image generation models. I would assume we have it built in, but I would have to double check.
Yeah, we have to look at that. That's a great question. So we don't know, Oliver. We'll take a look. Here's another one. How would you relate product images from customers to product images in your data catalog? By having a GPT-4 Turbo with vision enough properties of the item on the image and then searching those products. There's clever ways, right? Do you want to tell them about the Florence embeddings, Cassie?
I don't know if I know it well enough to know, like, or to explain that well.
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
because once I tell you, you'll be like, oh, I know what that is. So the
Okay.
Florence embeddings, you know how you have embeddings for text? Florence
Mhm.
is an interesting model because it has a shared embedding space with images too. So there's a shared latent space with text and
Oh,
images. So you
yes.
know what it is.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. It's like the clip tokenization where there's a relation between images and
yeah,
text and vector space. Yes,
that's
sorry,
right.
you're right. I
And
do
so
know.
what you can do is you can take an image and you can project it into embedded space. And if you have your images of your products inside of your embedding store, then you can do a similar cosine similarity on those. And what you do is you can look at an image of a thing, put it into embedding space, and then retrieve the things from your catalog that are in the like close enough. And so that's how I would relate them myself. Like, so that's how I would relate product images from customers to product images in our data catalog. Is it shared Florence embedding? Cassie, you want any color of that?
No, that's right. So we have that model available in our computer vision AI service, right?
Mhm.
So they can use that to do the embedding to create the relational information, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I did it. I forgot that I did that with like Stable
Yeah,
Diffusion
you already know.
locally. Yeah, because I did the
Was-
clip text embedding or the clipped embedding
Mhm.
is like the OpenAI version.
Yeah.
Yeah, which kind of started that the how to do the text to image or
Yeah.
image to text.
And Florence has been around for a while, too. It's
Yeah.
really cool. All right, so what's the temperature I used here at JVN Ganesh? I think I set it to 0 because I wanted it to be more predictable. But now that we'll be able to add seed values into these models, we'll be able to get more predictability as well when we do testing, which I'm pretty excited about. I know OpenAI mentioned that. I don't know when we're getting it in the Azure OpenAI models. I'm sure pretty soon. Is it better than FICE? These things are all the same. It depends on how much babysitting you want to do with these things. So FICE is a vector embedding store. If I remember, Facebook came up with it. You can totally use that FICE embeddings, or you could use Azure AI Search, or you could use Pinecone. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on what you want to use. But the embedding is the same. I think it's all 8 2 embeddings, if I remember right. Cassie, is that right?
I don't know which embedding they're using. Like obviously the OpenAI one is the ADA embedding, and that's what I have been using for the
Cool.
stuff I've been building, but
Cool.
I have not used that store. So
All right, let's keep going here. Let's see, because now it's time for Sarah to make this all responsible, and we are almost out of time.
Thanks so much, Seth. I'd been led to believe that keeping your shoes on was required at these keynotes, but Seth has proven me wrong. We've had so much interest from customers really coming to the Azure OpenAI service because they know that they can get the latest models from OpenAI directly with the security and privacy of Azure built right in. We've had over 18,000 customers put their trust in Azure OpenAI service and build just such stunning applications on top of it. Let's take a look at what one of these customers, Siemens, has been doing.
At Siemens Software, we're focused on bringing together engineering, manufacturing, all the way down to the shop floor in a unified experience. Imagine you're on a factory line and you see a problem. Maybe you have gloves on. Maybe you're not speaking a language that is the same as the...
So this is cool, but I want to get to Sarah's stuff, if that's okay.
yeah.
Because I think this is because what happens is as soon as I gave my prompt flow to our RAI people, they broke it like within 2 seconds. And I was like, Sarah, you should go on stage and be like, Seth's prompt flow was great, but we broke it within 5 minutes of him giving it to us, which would have been awesome. So let's see what she has to say.
That this requires a defense in depth or layered approach to safety. The first two layers are built directly into the Azure AI platform. Starting with the core, we've worked with OpenAI to build safety into the model so that it can recognize problematic queries and respond appropriately. The next layer is Azure AI Content Safety, an AI-powered safety system designed to support real-time detection of problematic content. Starting today, we have new enhanced features based on our own experiences and feedback from our customers. Let's go back to AI Studio to take a look. Here in the playground, I can interact with Seth's Koso application. In recent months, we've seen the rise of new types of attacks on AI systems, such as jailbreaks and prompt injection attacks. These attacks are designed to confuse the model and have it break out of its system instructions. Let's see how the Koso system responds to one of them. Here I've entered a common one that tries to get the model to frame harmful information as a story. Looks like the attack successfully confused the model and it generated harmful content. Fortunately, since this is built on Azure OpenAI, content safety is built in and is already monitoring for problematic inputs and outputs. It caught the issue and filtered the output, preventing anyone from accessing it. However, not all jailbreaks are attempting to produce harmful content. Here, I'm going to use a Dan-style jailbreak to confuse the model and then ask for some tax advice from Koso. Not something that Koso wants its system to be doing. Let's see if we can do better with the new safety capabilities we released today. I'm going to create a custom content filter. Since I don't expect there to be any need for sensitive content in this application, I'm going to set everything to filter starting at low severity to give me maximum safety. Next, I'm going to enable the new filters to help address emerging risks specific to generative AI applications. The jailbreak filter detects incoming jailbreak attempts, and these two filter protected text and code, which means they filter content that may be copyrighted, such as song lyrics that might accidentally appear in the output, so I don't use information that I don't intend to. Now that I've made my selections, I can easily attach the setting to the deployment endpoint to update its behavior. Let's go back to the playground and see how it's working now. I'm going to retry that same Dan attack again. This time the safety system recognizes that this is a jailbreak attempt and blocks it, protecting Koso and its users. As Eric shared, Azure AI Content Safety is now generally available. We've added more controls for customers to tune settings for their applications. And starting today, the jailbreak and protected materials features I demoed are available in public preview.
Well, I mean, there you have it. It's time for our walk-off music almost. Reaction to this, Cassie? It's pretty cool content stuff, right?
I love what we're doing, and I love how easy it is. Like, it's a UI. Again, I know we shouldn't say easy when we're talking about these things.
I know.
But it's hard not to. But yeah, no, I think that it's a really important part, and the fact that they've created it, in the forefront of what you're creating, and it's so easy to add and important to add. It's pretty cool. Also, we need to appreciate the outfit she was wearing, though.
I know.
That was amazing.
She is so much smarter and better dressed than I am. It's amazing. Small query, how exactly is it handling the tuning of content safety in the safety layer? We train our own models to do that. And it's basically a model that when the text comes in, we do a calibration, right? We get a score. And then on the way out, we also do a score. And we're also working on making it so that, because some people might be able to get around safety systems by asking a question that seems innocuous and getting an answer that seems innocuous, but putting them together might not be innocuous. And so we're working on those models too. So it's just a little thin layer model around the large language model. It's a pretty cool question. All right. Well, anything to add, Cassie, in the final minute?
Just go check out the book of news and some of the sessions there. That was just like a small taste of things that were happening at Ignite. There was so much. I mean, there's still things I need to catch up on, because even working here, there's so many things happening, like the fabric thing I still need to check up on. So definitely go check out the things that are of interest to you, play around with things, give us feedback, all that stuff.
Absolutely. And go to ai.azure.com to play with the new Azure AI Studio. That's the product we get to work on. And so if there's any feedback, please let us know. Complaints, we get complaints all the time. We like complaints because it means that you like where you are and you just want it to be better.
Exactly.
right? All right, next week on the AI show, let me tell you who's coming on. We're going to be talking with vector search with Farzad Sunavala. Pretty excited about that. Vector search is being GA'd, and so we'll talk to Farzad a little bit about that. So make sure you tune in to that. As always, thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the AI show. Happens every week, Mondays 8:30 a.m. Unless there's something weird going on and we don't, like, something worldwide is happening and it's like it'd be untoward for us to be on, or some craziness with AI. That's the only time we skip. But other than that, we have a show every week, right, Cassie?
That's the goal. Yeah.
All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time on the AI Show Live. Take care.